As Candy mentioned, it is super duper hot out there. We are all dealing with heat in one form or another in our lives across the state, across the globe. So let's go ahead and just keep it low and cool and restorative today. I was going to start standing, but Candy's inspired me. Let's just come right on down to our mats. If you have any blankets or yoga blocks or cushions or even towels that you can fold up to act as a support, we are going to start in supported bridge pose. If that does not call to you, then just start in a constructive rest pose. I'll show you both. For those with high blood pressure who cannot or should not elevate the hips above the heart, either come to a really flat, cushy pillow, or even just a folded up towel. I keep these towels here next to my yoga mat because I cover it after my practices because my cat likes to hang out on here and have her hairballs, which is fun. So first, just come right on down to the back. And if you're going without the support, just press into your feet, lift your hips just enough that you can make your tailbone nice and long, really pressing the small of the back flat to the earth. And then kind of walk your feet out a little wider than your hips and just let your knees fall in towards one another. And you might already right here feel some relief in the hips, in the thighs, in the low back. This might be more than enough. If you would like to have a little bit more opening in the hips, you can start with something really low and flat, just a little bit of elevation here to open up just a little bit more. If you want to go a little higher, you can take a thicker blanket or pillow, or you can take a yoga block and tuck it widthwise. So the widest part is going behind your back. And the edge closest to your heart is right about where a belt would be. So you're not sitting on your coccyx, that little end piece hurting it, but you're supporting the sacrum here. So in any one of these variations, the feet are wide, the knees are just coming in to support each other. You have to have no effort at all right here. And you might press into your triceps, lift the heart, and just kind of snuggle those shoulder blades in and down. And then lay them down on the mat. And you might notice here that you have this nice flat surface across your shoulder blades. And then lift your head just enough to tuck your chin and make your neck nice and long. It might feel nice to rest your hands to your belly. Or you might want to open up your arms and let the palm shine upward towards the sky. And just begin to notice your breath. Inhaling and noticing the sensation of the breath coming in through the nostrils. Exhaling and noticing the flow as the air comes back out. As you inhale, notice the temperature of the air. Maybe it's cooler if you're in an air-conditioned space. Maybe it's warmer if you're not. You might visualize all of those little cilia, the little hairs in your nostrils that filter the air for you. which is why nose breathing is so good for us, because breathing through the nose filters particles out of the air, and it also humidifies our air for us so the lungs can more easily absorb it. And it helps to regulate the temperature. So it's really, really good if you can breathe through your nose. Always do that. Unless you're taking a big cleansing breath, in which case let's all inhale together through the nose. And when you exhale, let it go out the nose or mouth with a big sigh. And do that 2 more times. Big sighs like that are signals to our nervous systems that it is a good time to release tension so our bodies can get a little more flexible. If you've got your hips elevated, walk your feet in so that they're parallel to one another. Press into the soles of the feet, lift the hips off your support and set it off to the side. And we'll just bring the back right on down to the floor. Take the knees out as wide as your mat. Spread the arms open into a T. And we'll just windshield wiper the knees gently from side to side. It might not be a very, very big movement here, just going from side to side. And just notice the feeling of your mat massaging you underneath your back, low back, across the hips. You might add in the neck here, and as your knees go over to the right, you could take your gaze to the left. And then inhale back up, coming to center, and then take your knees over to the left as you exhale and gaze across your right palm. Inhale, knees and gaze sky high. Exhale, knees to one side, gaze to the other. And then just keep moving, slow and smooth. Just getting a little twisting motion here, which is really, really good for our internal organs, really good for our digestion and our elimination. It's also really good for the nervous system as we kind of get some movement in the nerves going up and down the spine. And it's good for the spine as we get all that synovial fluid flowing in between each and every vertebra. And then we'll come back to center, knees and gaze to the sky, and hug one knee in and then the other, coming into that Apanasana, wind relieving pose. And we'll just rock gently from side to side. You might hug your knees in nice and tight if you want the massage a little towards your mid back, a little higher up on the back. Or you might cup your knees in your palms and straighten out the arms and rock from side to side down here. And just notice the difference in the position of your knees as to where you get that nice, juicy massage. And then maybe we'll make some circles with the knees in one direction. You might inhale as you press your knees away, straightening the elbows, and exhale as you draw the knees in and bend the arms. Just notice how good that feels across the low back, the hips. And then reverse your circles. Just kind of imagining that you're making some circles on the ceiling here. And again, these circles can be as big as you want, as little as you want, whatever feels really good to you. And if you find a place that feels particularly good and you just want to stay there and rock on it a little bit, go ahead and go for it. This is your practice and it should feel good to your body, and everybody's body is different. So let's go ahead and hug that right knee in, and let's just send that left leg out nice and long and just get a nice stretch here through the groin. And maybe point and flex the toes of your right foot. You might flex the left foot and really press the left foot away, getting a nice big stretch across the groin. And as you have your hands interlaced around the front of your shin, make some circles with your right ankle as gently as you need to keep your joints nice and safe. And then reverse your circles. And you might even rock the ankle from side to side. You might notice some snap, crackle, pop there. That's totally normal, but if it's painful, please do not do it. But it's kind of interesting to note that as you move your ankle, feel what you feel underneath your palms with your hands interlaced over your shin. You can feel the muscles moving in both sides of your calf. And that's because those muscles insert right here at the underneath the knee and come all the way down the inside of the calf and wrap around underneath your arch of your foot and come all the way up the outside of the calf. If this is starting to get too much for you, you can always bend that left knee and bring the sole of the foot to the earth. But it's worth noting how the knee and the ankle work together here. So keeping the ankles healthy supports the knees and vice versa. Let's hug that left knee in, and then we'll put the sole of the right foot down to the mat, knee pointed up towards the sky. You can stay right here or extend through that right leg, whichever feels best to you. And then we'll make those circles here in one direction and then the other in that left ankle. Again, just noticing the motion of the calf underneath your hands. Maybe point and flex the toes. And we'll rock the ankle from side to side. And then we'll bring both knees in towards the heart once again, and maybe invite the nose up towards the knees, realigning your spine and your hips and your neck. And then we'll hug that right knee in once again, bring the sole of the left foot down to the mat, and we'll just do a nice simple figure 4 stretch here. You might open up the hip by pressing the palm of your right hand into the top of your right thigh. Give yourself a little bit of a massage here. This could be plenty deep. Or you might want to lift that left foot off the earth, reach through the space in between your thighs to interlace your hands behind your left thigh. And then bring your head and shoulders back down to the mat and hug those legs in towards the heart. This could be plenty for you right here. Or you might want to inhale and straighten the left leg, flexing the foot, sole shining up towards the sky. Exhale, release the ankle, bend the knee. Inhale, extend and flex. Exhale, bend the knee, release the ankle. One more time. Inhale, extend and flex. Exhale, bend the knee, and just release the sole of the foot down to the mat. And we'll just switch sides. Hug that left knee in. You might switch the clasp of your hands. So just notice what index finger comes on top and just shift the fingers over once. It'll feel a little weird and awkward, but that supports neuroplasticity, the strength and the neuro pathways in our brains. So just change it up a little bit every now and then. And then we'll bring the ankle to the top of the right thigh and maybe press into that left thigh with the heel of the left hand. Opening up here. And if you did it on the first side, you might want to hug that leg package in again on the second side. You might lift the head and shoulders so that you can interlace your fingers behind the right thigh, maybe switching up your clasp, and then bring the head and shoulders back down to the mat and hug those legs in towards your heart. And if this is hard on your knees here, keep your feet flexed, and that'll keep the tendons and the ligaments around the knees more engaged to support them. Just like we noticed when we were rotating our ankles before, there's a lot going on in the knee when we're using the ankle and vice versa. We'll just take another breath here. And then we'll release the right foot and then the left foot down to the mat. Take a big inhale, stretching long through the whole entire body, wiggling toes and fingers, taking a good morning stretch. And then send the arms and legs out nice and wide, creating a big X marks the spot. I am here position on your mat. Really expanding, really taking up space. And then maybe you might want to draw your right leg over to meet the left leg and the right arm over to meet the right arm or the left arm, so that you're kind of laying like a banana on its side, banana asana. And just notice the stretch that you get in the whole right side of the body. And if you want, and it feels good, you can cross that right ankle over the left. And you might interlace your fingers here or frame your head, cradling your elbows in your palms, kind of creating a little box around your face. And as you inhale, just think about expanding through the whole right side of the body. And if you haven't already closed your eyes and you feel comfortable doing that, I encourage you to have your eyes closed as much as you like during your yoga practice. Maybe take just a soft gaze. And as you inhale and exhale here, notice where you might be gripping or tense that you don't really need to be exerting any effort, and just let that go. Allow your body to be soft. Relax the jaw, relax the forehead. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Just notice your breath coming in and out through the nostrils. Notice the expansion of your ribs as you inhale. And the softening of your belly as you exhale. And the next time we inhale, we'll send the right leg and right arm back over towards the right, opening up into that big X marks the spot shape. And then we'll draw the left leg and left arm over towards the right. And again, this might be plenty of a side stretch here on the left, or you might cross the left ankle over the right ankle, interlace those fingers, find a little steeple grip in your index fingers, or find that frame around your face, cradling elbows and palms. Inhale, expanding in the left side of the body. Maybe think about just really inhaling into that left lung. Expansion, softening, noticing what you notice and where you notice it. Just being conscious of what's going on in your body as you breathe. Yoga is my favorite way to meditate because meditating is basically being here in the present moment, not thinking about the past or the future, but being right here. Let's take one more breath while we're here. And then inhale, sending everything out wide into that big X shape again. And then we'll bend one knee and then the other. And either rock and roll up and down the spine, giving yourself a nice massage, or you can roll to one side or the other. And we're just going to go ahead and come to a nice seat. Let's come into Dandasana, this strong posture here. We'll find our seated mountain pose. Just extend the legs out in front of you, point the toes up towards the sky, feet are flexed. You might bring your fingertips out to the side to support your spine here. Maybe closing the eyes, maybe not. Let's roll the shoulders up and back and down a few times. And maybe the third time, really anchor them down as if you were trying to tuck them into your back pockets. And notice how that lifts your heart. And then lengthen through the small of your back a little bit so that you're not overarching into the low back. Let those shoulders be relaxed. Let the elbows be soft. And draw the crown of the head up towards the sky as you tuck your chin for a nice long neck. This can be a lot right here. Most of us don't sit with this kind of posture. We're usually hunched over one device or another. So even sitting tall like this, using all of these muscles, strengthening our posture can be somewhat challenging. So if you find yourself wanting to sit in a chair or up against the wall, feel free to do that to support those muscles getting stronger. Wherever you are, let's inhale the arms up and alongside the ears. Bring the palms together and down through the heart, through the center. And we'll just sweep the arms out. Turn the palms up, bring them overhead, maybe look up towards the sky and track your thumbs as they come down towards your heart again, and then sweep the arms out and up, inhaling as the arms come up, exhaling as the palms come down. Let's do that one more time, inhaling the arms up high to the sky. And this time when they get there, we'll interlace the fingers and take your clasped hands down to your base of your skull, nape of your neck. Let your thumbs extend down the sides of your neck to support the long neck. We'll inhale, taking a gentle back bend here. Exhale, draw the elbows towards one another, round the back, belly to the spine. Inhale, lifting the heart, maybe looking up towards the sky if that feels okay in the neck. Exhale, rounding forward. You can stay here in this seated cat-cow, really moving that spine in the forward and backward. S-shaped positions that support the strength of our spine. Or you can come all the way to tabletop position, coming to hands and knees, wrists underneath the shoulders, index fingers parallel here, hands spread nice and wide for lots of support. Knees are parallel, shins, feet are parallel. We can inhale and drop the belly, lifting the tailbone, drawing the heart forward into cow pose. Exhale, Round the back, the crown of the head comes towards the earth and the belly button up towards the spine, pressing into the tops of the feet. Inhale, cow pose. You might even like to tuck the toes and bend the elbows here. Exhale, cat, tops of the feet to the earth. Once again, let's inhale, cow pose. Exhale, round up into cat pose and all the way back, hips towards your heels into child's pose. You might keep your head lifted here, or you might bring your forehead to your mat or to a block. And then we'll inhale back up into table. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow, tuck the toes. Exhale, child's pose with the toes tucked this time. And maybe pop your fingertips to the mat, kind of making little spiders of your hands, and really draw the heart down towards the earth. Tuck the chin to keep the neck nice and safe. And really open up through the armpits, drawing the shoulder blades down towards the tailbone and towards one another. One more inhale here, expanding the back body. Stay for that exhale. And then we'll inhale back into our tabletop. If this is starting to, actually, let's go ahead and come to sit on the heels, because it is starting to get a little much on my wrists. So we'll just go ahead and come off those wrists, find some little rotations here in one direction or the other, maybe flutter the fingers out a little bit, maybe make some hula hands or some jazz hands, and then we'll come right back down to those hands just a little bit longer here. One other thing I was going to mention is if this is getting to be a little much on the wrist, you can always use your fist for wrists. Kind of make a fist, thumb on the outside, and come to that flat part across the tops of the fingers. This can be a great option for not only taking the weight out of the wrist, but strengthening the wrist here too. The other option is if you have yoga blocks, you could bring them in line with the shoulders and rest your forearms to the yoga blocks. So that's a couple great ways to take the pressure off your wrists. So wherever your hands are, they are underneath your shoulders. We're just going to inhale and send that right leg back, tucking the toes under and just pressing back into the right calf. Getting a nice big stretch here. Breathing your breath. And then we'll inhale, raise that right leg up to parallel, bend the right knee, and then we're just going to take that right knee back here behind the left knee. And we're going to massage our own left calf with our right knee. Maybe making some circles here, maybe going up and down or side to side. Just notice how that feels here. Notice any areas that are tender that need a little extra attention. And then we'll inhale, send that right leg out long once again, and exhale, releasing the knee to the earth. Let's do that on the left side. Inhale, send the left leg back, toes touching the mat at first, strong through the shoulder, tucking the chin to keep the neck nice and long. Strong, steady spine here. Maybe press back into that heel, getting a nice stretch across the calf. And inhale, the leg parallel to the sky, bend the knee, and bring that left knee over to massage the right calf. Just getting in here. Just noticing it. This is a really good spot to massage the calf because it's not contracted at all. So it's nice and free here and you can really get in there. Let's inhale, send that leg out long once again. Exhale, release the knee to the earth. We'll take the feet out to one side or the other or cross the ankles and roll over the feet to come back to our seated posture, staff pose. Dandasana in the Sanskrit. You might want to center yourself on your mat here. And again, we'll find that really tall, strong spine here. Maybe taking the fingertips out towards the sides, letting the shoulder blades come down the back. Drawing the crown of the head towards the sky. Let's inhale the arms up alongside the ears. Exhale, lift the rib cage away from the pelvis and hinge forward at the hips any amount. Your knees might be straight here or they might be bent. One more inhale to find length. Exhale, release the hands. If you want to get a little deeper, you can continue lengthening the spine as you inhale, coming a little deeper as you exhale. Or you might like to release the feet, turn the palms up towards the sky, and allow the back to round as you bring the crown of the head towards your knees. And just let this be nice and soft. Inhaling into your back body. Massaging your internal organs here with the compression. Breathing space behind the heart. If you hear something in the background that sounds suspiciously like a cat meowing, it is a cat meowing. She wants to go outside, not realizing it's 100 degrees out there. Let's take 2 more breaths wherever you are, whether you're getting deeper into your posture or maybe softer into your posture. Release the jaw, let the forehead be soft. And then wherever you are, let's reach the hands forward, draw length in the spine, draw the heart forward, tuck the chin. Inhale, press yourself back up to a tall, strong seat. And then we will find a comfortable seat where you can sit for a minute while we do Sitali Breath, a nice cooling breath that we can practice during this time. You can come to sit cross-legged on a pillow or towels or blankets or bolsters or whatever you want. I like to use 2 yoga blocks and sit in hero's pose, which is typically just sitting down on the heels like this. But when I want to stay in a particular seat for a few minutes, I want it to be nice and comfortable. So I like to stack those 2 blocks right up under me to give my hips a little more space. So this probably would not be a good way to sit if your ankles were sore. Maybe they are in this extended position. I don't know your body, but sit in a way that's comfortable for you. And we'll just notice the breath. And it might seem like this is a waste of time just sitting here breathing, but allow this to be enough. Knowing that when you calm your breath, you calm your nervous system. When you calm your nervous system, you reduce inflammation in the body. So whether you are dealing with a physical, external injury on a joint, or you're dealing with a chronic disease or getting over, I don't know, COVID or something like that, what we want to do is reduce that inflammation. So calming down your body is a nice way of doing that. And it is readily available to you. So let's come back to noticing the breath at the tips of the nose, the ends of the nostrils. And then let's bring one hand to the heart and then the next hand to cover. And just notice your breath as your chest rises and falls with each inhalation and exhalation. Just notice your heart lifting up into your hands and the softening of your chest as you exhale. And again. And then let's bring one hand and then the other to the belly. And just inhale and exhale into your hands, nice and deep into the belly. Expanding as you inhale. Softening the belly button towards the spine as you exhale. And as you inhale, you might count how long it takes to inhale. And then see if you can match the exhalation to the length of the inhalation. So for instance, I'll start us off with a count of 4. Let's inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And if 4 doesn't feel good for you, maybe your beat is 3, maybe it's 7, doesn't matter. The thing is, we want to just find that nice balanced breath that's so restorative to our nervous systems. And with this nice, calm, soft, gentle breath, let's bring one hand to the heart, keep the other hand anchored to the belly, and just draw the elbows and the arms in to kind of hug around and hold yourself. Maybe close the eyes and feel the body expand into both hands as you inhale. And soften beneath both hands as you exhale your nice balanced breath. And then we'll just release the hands. And let's practice that Sitali breath, that nice cooling breath here with our nice balanced breath we just created. So Sitali breath, in its fullest form, requires that you roll your tongue or create a straw out of your tongue. If you can either do it or you can't. I have practiced my whole life. My kid can do it. Both my kids can do it. My mother can do it. My husband can do it. I cannot do it. But if you can do it, roll your tongue and create a little straw out of the tip of your tongue. If you can't do it, just use the tip of your tongue without creating the straw. So what we'll do is we'll purse the lips as if we're sipping through a straw with the tip of the tongue, rolled or unrolled, kind of poking through that created straw with the lips. So as you inhale, the air comes over the tongue. Then we'll close the lips and exhale out the mouth. So it will look something like this. And just continue practicing that at your own pace. And notice the temperature of the air as it comes through your pursed lips. You might notice already that it is a much cooler temperature than the air otherwise. And as you know, that air comes up through your nostrils, through your nasal passages, all the way into your sinuses, into those sinus cavities, which is all up here in your skull, in your brain. So think about inhaling all that cool, clean, fresh air circulating around in your sinuses, and then exhaling gently. You might find that this breath is really cooling when you're feeling overheated or even when you want to calm the nervous system down. If you like to visualize or fantasize as you're breathing this breath, you might imagine that you're someplace nice and cool and refreshing, maybe on the deck of a ship somewhere in Alaska, all bundled up with your coffee to keep warm, and you're just inhaling that fresh, cool, crisp air. Or maybe it's something else I can't think of at the top of my head right now, but you probably know, someplace that comes to your mind. Just use your powerful mind and that power of your imagination to cool the body down. And whenever you're done with the breath, just let it go. You can practice that wherever, whenever, for however long it feels good to you. It could cause you to get a little lightheaded as you breathe in that different manner. But we're just going to come right to Shavasana now. Coming all the way down to the back, any way you want to get there. If you have bolsters and you want to support the body, support the hips, you sure can. But before we take our Shavasana, we're going to do legs up the wall. So if you don't have a wall, just come all the way down to your back. Press into those heels, lift the hips so that you can find a nice situation here for your low back. Really press down to the mat. And we'll inhale, extend one leg and then the other up towards the sky, flexing your feet so that you're almost walking on the ceiling here. And think about your legs like telephone poles, just planted firmly into your hip sockets. And just notice how if you find a nice balance here that can take some of the effort out of this posture. You can have your hands to your belly and breathe that nice balanced breath. Or you can open up your arms into those Shavasana corpse pose arms. If you do have wall space and you want to make this more restorative, you can come over to sit next to your wall, right up next to the floorboard here. And then you'll just come right down to your forearms and kind of gracefully swing your legs up the wall. You can press into your triceps and your back to scooch as close to the wall as feels good to you. Feeling your legs completely supported here. And you can let go of the flexion in the feet, just let the feet be soft. Again, hands can be resting at belly or out into your corpse position posture. And just know that when we have our legs in this inverted position, we're getting all of the benefits of an inversion, which is the blood flowing back down towards the heart and the brain. Oh, here's my noisy little kitty girl. This is Princess, everybody. She probably will not be here for long. And also you're supporting your adrenal system, all the adrenal glands in the ankles and the knees. They tend to kind of situate themselves in your joints. all of that lymphatic fluid comes flowing down towards the heart center where it's processed by the thyroid. Or I'm not sure if I got that right. Excuse me if I did not, but it's processed somewhere around there by the heart. And that cleans out our bodies, that lymphatic system. Pretty incredible. So we're either resting with legs raised up towards the ceiling without the wall, or legs up the wall, or in full Shavasana, extended long legs and arms, just resting out to the sides. Find a posture that feels good to you, where you can really allow your body to soften and relax. You might roll your head from side to side here and give your neck a little stretch. And then we'll let go of any and all control. Just let your body take over the breathing once again. And if you'd like to go ahead and end your practice here, we're about at our time or maybe a little bit over. And just feel free to end your practice. My namaste to you. But if you'd like to hang out for a little bit longer, I'd like to do a little guided meditation. So as you're laying in whatever posture you've decided to be your final posture, open your eyes and look around your space. And just notice what you notice. Notice the things that you see right ahead of you, maybe in your peripheral vision. And then close your eyes and notice what you see behind your eyelids. You might see color or light. Just notice. And then notice what you hear. You might hear people talking. You might hear the motor of your computer running, maybe the air conditioning. You might hear children playing outside or people mowing. Well, you probably don't hear people mowing right now. Maybe there's somebody with a pool next door and they're playing in their pool. Just notice what you hear in your space. And then notice what you feel. Bring your attention to your hands, backs of the hands, the palms of the hands, and just notice the air against your skin. Maybe your hands are on your belly and you can feel your clothes underneath your hands. You might be able to feel your clothes on your legs, your torso. Just notice how that feels, that huge organ of your skin, constantly detecting things around you. And then bring your awareness to the inside of your mouth and just notice what you taste. You might not taste much of anything. You might notice your mouth is a little dry. You might taste the last thing you drank or ate. Just notice. Just noticing and sensing all that is around you in your space. And we'll stay here for 3 more full breaths, continuing to relax and soften the body. And if, like me, you've got your legs up the wall, you might start wiggling your toes. In fact, if you're in Shavasana or your legs are extended high to the sky, let's all wiggle our toes and wiggle our fingers, maybe rotate wrists and ankles in one direction and then the other. And if you've got your legs up the wall, just bring the soles of your feet to the wall and we'll just kind of roll over to one side or the other. And then press yourself all the way back up into a seat in the same very graceful manner that I just did. We'll find that long, tall spine in whatever seat is comfortable to you. Let's all together inhale, extending the arms alongside the ears, bring the palms together, and exhale, hands right down to your heart. And if you'd like to join me in the traditional yogi namaste, you may bend your chin to your chest. The light that is within me honors and reveres the light within each of you. Namaste.